Okay. Beta. I'm gonna show y'all boys where I'm from, man. I'm from that.
All right, what it do with the businesses? It's the big boss hog, boss dog, cake poked through the dough. I just put it to the gym. Hit a top this box. Fuck it in my soliloquy. Man, don't last. Good people do the life self. Cut them if I like me matter. Peak game. And it falls on West Wing. All right. Now, disclaimer. If you a butt booty warrior and you feel like your opinion is bothering me and it's personal, nothing's never personal for me. It's always business. I told you I'm a grown man. Don't tolerate disrespect. So, as a grown man, you got to understand, I don't avoid conflict. I deal with the conflict, okay? That's what I do. That's how I am, right? So, you got to understand that when you come on my channel, make sure you do your homework. Don't come over here saying egregious things and thinking you can get away with it. And it's cool. I know you say it because you say it to other YouTube channels. They get mad at you or they block you. I'm not going to block you. I'm going to respond to you. I am. I'm going to respond to you once or twice, and then I'm done talking to you after that. I don't keep going 6, 7, 8. I don't write paragraphs. It's short and sweet. I might write 1, 2 sentences. Maybe not even that. It just depends on what you wrote. You know what I mean? But don't sit here and act like this is personal. Like I don't take any of this personal. This is the internet. Okay? This is the internet. I have the understanding this is the internet. Half of you, more than half of you, if I was in your face, you wouldn't even say none of this to my face. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just being honest. Because I don't have that demeanor for you to come say anything to my face. Right? I'm always by myself because I'm a peaceful brother. Please refrain from trying to make this personal. It's not personal for me, right? You want to talk boxing, you like Terrence Crawford, do your thing. But when you try to make it personal, then you want to get in the ring. That's how I'm going to take it. So please, just leave it alone. If you want to advocate for Terrence Crawford, I don't have no problem with you advocating for Terrence Crawford. I encourage it. I don't want men agreeing with me all the time. You don't have to agree with me. But understand that when you come over here and you say certain things, you understand what come with that, bro. I'm a grown man, bro. We grown. Grown men do what grown men do. You know what I'm saying? I had my coworker, I told you in the last video, my coworker, we had a disagreement. He talking about he want to get in the gloves. We got in the gloves, and he found out the hard way. But we dapped it up after that. That's just what it is, bro. I don't get mad. It's not personal for me. I don't stay mad. Like, I'm cool with buddy. I went and bought him some food afterwards. Pause. You know what I'm saying? That's how we deal with conflict. That's how I grew up dealing with conflict. You know what I'm saying? So, understand, like, no, that's how you handle issues. That's how my pops raised me. You got an issue, hey, as men, we're going to handle it. We don't need to get animated. We don't need to do anything. As far, you know, hey, we either gonna do what we gonna do or we not. That's just what it is. So please refrain from tough guy talk over the internet. That's all I'm saying. I'm not tough. I will tell you that in a heartbeat. I'm not tough. I'm just a grown man. I don't tolerate disrespect. I'm gonna create a shirt. Let's talk boxing. Errol Spence is in shape. Man, Errol Spence, man, if you got this far, you saw the man is in shape, bro. The man is slim. The man look like he can probably fight right now. So, I don't know what's going on with Errol Spence. I don't know when he fighting. I don't know anything, right? I don't know any clues. I ain't got no sources. I ain't got nothing. I'm not finna pretend like I got a source. I don't do that. Balls don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I know what y'all know. Nothing. I'm not, you know, and I like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I like my little pond I'm in. I'm from Houston, bro. When I see and say I'm from Houston, I'm from old school Houston. I'm from the independent grind Houston. The J Prince, the UGKs, the Mike Jones Chameleonaires, the 50-50 Twins, the J Dog, the Young Hog, man, I can keep going like an iron keep flowing. That's the era I came up in, right? The independent grind. So I'm not looking to be this big channel. I don't really care about that over here. Boss only cares about keeping their thighs on my channel, right? And I want this channel to remain like that. This is a channel that you come over here and it's like we sitting on the green thing in the middle of the apartment complex. And those of you who from the old school know what I'm talking about, where you out there, you just talking sports and you're able to spit back and forth about, football, boxing, whatever the course is, and y'all talking. You know what I mean? That's the era I came up in, right? So it's like, that's what this channel is for. Now, Clutch Factory, that's different. I want y'all to go over there, subscribe to Clutch Factory. Boss Hall Boxing, you've never heard me say, hey, subscribe to my channel. No, you can do that if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, this channel here for, like I say, is to keep it 1,000, bro. I'm not one of them channels. I'm not looking to be, a mega channel. If it comes into that today, it is what it is. But I'm not looking for that. You know what I mean? I'm looking to be authentic and I'm looking to be myself. And that's what I'm looking to be on this channel. But to get back on topic, Errol Spence, man, the question is, will he come back and fight? In my opinion, I don't know. Right? Errol Spence has not fought since he took that tragic loss to Terrence Crawford. Right? It was a one-sided beatdown. You know what I'm saying? So I understand what Errol Spence is dealing with mentally. Right? I took a loss in the amateurs. Now, granted, mine went a one-sided beatdown. My fight was close. I got people who thought that I won the fight. People was booing when they announced the other dude, and one of my amateur bouts. So, I understand what he dealing with as far as the frustration and things like that, because it make you kind of like look at yourself and like, man, what do I need to do to, make sure this don't happen again? And Errol Spence in his life, in boxing, he never looked like that. When people talk to you about Errol in the amateurs and they talk about Errol and this, they got a lot of respect for Errol, right? So that's what makes people say, hey, something was wrong with Errol, right? You never heard Boss making excuses or say anything. I just said he didn't look like himself. That's all I said. Anybody who been on my channel, matter of fact, Jay Will, the #1 Terrence Crawford supporter, he can vouch for you. He's always in the comment section. Y'all can go look at his comments. And he's very neutral, right? He's a Terrence Crawford supporter, but he's very neutral, right? He even can say and vouch and say, man, now, Boss, Boss never said that anything was wrong with Errol and this, that, and the third. All I said was he didn't look right. Right? But I gave full credit to Terrence Crawford. So Terrence Crawford is one of the best fighters in boxing today. For him to be able to get in the ring and do that to an Errol Spence with the resume and the type of fights that he was fighting, I got to tip my hat off. You know what I'm saying? And that's just real talk. He wasn't fighting those type of fights. And we got our reasons why, some people feel like, oh, because they was ducking him. I'm not trying to hear that stuff, bro. You go where the smoke is at. I keep saying that. You know what I'm saying? If I want to fight somebody, I'm going to go where they at. I'm not finna be yelling from across the street, oh, that's not how, and it's crazy because when I start talking like that, then y'all want to start bringing, oh, that's not how boxing business works. Now y'all using boxing business. You know what I'm saying? Y'all using boxing business. Y'all want to sit here and use boxing business. Oh, that's not how boxing business works. I'm not trying to hear that, bro. If Errol Spence was on the other side, if Errol Spence was in Terrence Crawford's shoes and he was behind, if Terrence Crawford had basically all the belts and he had all the star and fame, star power and fame, and Errol Spence was, fought the fighters that Terrence Crawford fought, and Terrence Crawford fought the fighters that Errol Spence fought, I'm telling you right now, Terrence Crawford would never even looked at Errol Spence. Because that's what he's doing right now to Boots. Right? Errol had every reason to look at Terrence Crawford like that. But he said, nah, man, that dude a great fighter. I want to fight him. You know what I mean? I want to fight him for undisputed. And that's what he did. He fought him. He did exactly what he said. I'm going to fight him for undisputed. And then after that, he lost. But he did everything he said he was going to do. I'm going to fight Terrence Crawford for undisputed. right? The fights are easier to make over here where I ain't got to worry about, oh, this, we gotta argue and fight back and forth for money and this, that, and the third. Think about the Errol Spence fight when they was negotiating. It was a hassle, right? Errol basically had to give up a lot for that fight to even happen, right? That's just real talk. He had to give up a lot for that fight to even happen. So to the point where his people was like, bro, you giving up too much. But he was like, I don't care. I want this fight. I want to just get it out the way. And then I want to go to 154 because I can't make 147 no more. So you got to tilt your hat to Terrence Crawford. You know what I mean? He a hell of a fighter. You've always heard me say that. You got to tilt your hat to Errol Spence. They gave us the fight that we want, and it didn't go out. It didn't go the way that most of us thought the fight was going to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie to you. But at the same time, people choose to ignore the fact that Boss said Terrence Crawford needed to fight Errol like that to beat Errol. You can go watch my videos. What channel do you know give both sides of victory for both fighters? I said Terrence got to be the faster fighter. He got to throw in between Errol Spence's shots. He also got to counter Errol, use lateral movement, right? That's what he got to do. He got to fight in between Errol shots. He got to fight like he fought Victor Postal. And I believe I said another fight, right? And Terrence Crawford fought a perfect fight. That, if I had to give him a grade, that was an A+++. You know what I'm saying? But the real question now is, what does Errol Spence do now? What does he do, when he comes back? And I got the blueprint. I think Errol Spence needs to take a tune-up, okay? I know he want to come back and fight for a title immediately. I don't think he should do that. I think he needs to get his bearings together, especially getting a new trainer. If he going to come back with Stephen Bradman errors, cool. He needs a training camp, right? So what I think he needs to do, he needs to look at either Brian Castano or Brian Mendoza as his comeback fight, okay? Now, reason why I say that is those are two respectable fighters at 154. They were both former champions. One of the fighters, Brian Mendoza wasn't a former champion, but I think he had like an interim belt or something like that, or he was a number one contender for a belt. But he beat Sebastian Fundora, right, who was a unified champion. So that'd be a good comeback fight for Errol, or Brian Castano, who fought Jamel Charlo twice for the undisputed title. So I think those will be two great fights. I do feel like Brian Castano is a tougher fight because Brian Castano is more of a combination puncher. Right now, he is in front. He is in front of you, right? But I feel like those are two fights that Errol can get up for. I feel like those are two fights that Errol will get a lot of praise for, right? Because you're looking at two former top guys at 154, okay? So after that, if Errol's successful, if he's successful, because we don't know what Errol's going to look like when he come back, right? If Errol Spence is successful, okay, his next fight, I feel like, should be another step-up fight, and I think it should be Jesus Ramos. I think Errol Spence, if he's successful against those two guys, one of the two, he needs to look at Jesus Ramos. I feel like that's a good fight. I feel like that'll be fireworks. I feel like he could do that in AT&T Stadium. Jesus Ramos is a very respected fighter. They both got a come forward style, and I feel like it'll be a good fight for Errol. Now, Jesus Ramos is a big guy, so is Errol, but I think that Errol, if he's right and if he comes back, I think he can beat Jesus Ramos, right? I think he can, but it's gonna be a tall order. It ain't finna be easy, right? But notice the lane I'm providing for Errol. I'm providing Errol with good fights with respectable, tough opponents, right? That can still keep his resume respectable because Errol Spence got a hell of a resume. I'm not going to lie to you. After that, if I'm Errol, I look at Erickson Lubin. Okay? I know Erickson Lubin trying to fight Bakram Murtazalev. He's next in line for that fight. If Erickson Lubin gets Bakram Murtazalev and he so happen to beat that dude, that killer from Maharashtra, then I think that Errol Spence needs to fight Eric Lubin for the IBF championship at 154 pounds. And that'll be a good fight, right? Then if Tim Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora, they fight, whoever Errol Spence fights the winner of that fight, right? And then, now granted, this is all depending on if Errol comes back sometime this year or the top of the year next year, right? Of course, you know, there'll be other fights to be made, but I think once Errol come back, he gonna want to fight consistently because there's a market for Errol Spence. So I think that if Errol comes back this year, fights Brian Castano, Brian Mendoza, end of the year, if he wins, boom. Top of the year next year, okay? Fights Jesus Ramos, that's a big fight. If he beats him, boom. Now you in contention for a title fight, right? And you possibly could fight Erickson Lubin or Baccarat Murtazawa, which I'm not going to lie, I don't know. That boy a killer. But, like I said, it'll keep Errol Spence's resume respectable and keep him at the top because Errol Spence's resume is one of the best in boxing, right? I'm not going to lie to you. Y'all get mad at your mama, not me. So, it keeps Errol Spence's resume respectable. He's fighting, again, tough top fights. Fights that you can't just say, oh, he going to win that fight. Right? When he was at 147, he was fighting fights. I wasn't like, oh, yeah, man, he can. Man, I'm not going to lie. When Errol Spence fought Kell Brook, I was like, you fighting Kell Brook? I was like, I don't know about that one. And then I'm watching the fight. I'm like, I don't know. He got to do something different, you know? And he was able to do what he needed to do. He stopped Kell Brook. When he fought Sean Porter, I was like, man, you need a knockdown or something. Because at that time, I had it like a draw up until that round, and then Errol dropped him. And I feel like that's what won Errol Spence the fight. That round, I think it was 11th round. That round right there is what won Errol Spence the fight when he dropped Sean Porter. Then he came back and fought Danny Garcia off that injury. I was like, you tripping. He might lose to Danny Garcia. And he made lunch meat of him. He beat him easily, punished him, right? So, but like I said before, we don't know what version of Errol Spence is going to come back. He took a lot of punishment, and he got in a couple of more accidents before that, and I think after the Terrence Crawford fight. So, it's just, he just had a series of bad luck. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep it 1,000. The man had a series of bad luck. So, this version of his life, this second chapter, I don't know what Errol Spence is after. I don't know if he's just more after money and he's willing to fight the best fights. But that's what I would do if I was moving Errol Spence. Pause. I would move him in that manner for a title fight with Eric Lubin or Baccarat Murtazawa, and we'll stop it right there and see what happens. If he's able to beat them, then I'll see, we'll review the landscape and be like, hey, do you want to fight? Do you want to become undisputed, or you just want the best fights at, you know, in and around the division? You know what I'm saying? And we'll just go from there. Hey, Boots moving up. He wants a top fight. Errol Spence versus Boots, and it's at 154. You know what I mean? That's a big money fight. You know, or hey, do you want to go to 60 and fight like Janabek or any of those guys, Adamis, those guys up there? You know, or fight one of them dudes at 68 at a catch weight, you know, for the right dollar. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many opportunities for him, you know, but it's all depending on what he looks like when he comes back. But as far as him looking in shape, he looking in shape right now, man. Pause. He looking slim and trim. He looking ready to go. You know, when Errol Spence start doing stuff like that, he might have a fight coming up. You know, something might be coming in the works. And if Errol Spence comes back, I'm telling you, he gonna put on. That's just what it is. But y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let's go.